Welcome back, Warriors. Back with another episode. I'm going to drive in a couple minutes here, but I wanted to do this next one because I saw an interesting thing on one of the videos I was watching with the Shaolin Masters, and I'll put this link in the bottom here, but at least the address you can find on YouTube. It's Shaolin Masters, and it's by the Mulligan brothers, and you probably can find it a lot of different places as well. Before I do this, once again, we are at the station is Vigor Warriors 2, and it is a station designed for the betterment of the man. Perfect man, as Aristotle and a lot of people have talked about over the years, and perfect man is a person who's well-grounded and self-disciplined, and a person who can actually kind of choose their behaviors and not necessarily kind of get distracted and run off and follow other people's goals instead of their own goals and things that they want to do. And primarily I'm looking at men who are over age 50, but I have a lot of young men and women who have commented, and once again subscribe, comment, and please give me feedback on things you wanted to hear and things that I can provide some insight with. And I do have research I can bring in at times because I've taught for many years, but I also want to kind of provide information from my own experience, especially when it comes to things that I've experienced, because I think sometimes that may be able to provide more information. And am I an expert? No, not in a long way, but I can provide information on my experiences that might help you either way. So the title of this one we're going to talk about is You Are Unshakable. There's a nice video talking about being unshakable with the Shaolin Masters, and I want to kind of focus on this a little bit and talk about this whole idea of being unshakable. So what does it mean to be unshakable? Well, the idea of shaking is really the idea that you're in a position, wherever position you're in, and you're shaking and you're moving and you're not really foundationally strong. And guys, the key to everything you do is the foundation. And again, as I look at the foundation, you're really talking about learning behaviors that you could have self-control with, being in control of yourself. Last video I talked about fear and a lot of the enemies that you have. The biggest enemy you have really is distraction, fear, depression, all these things that can stop you from achieving your goals. And what you have to do is stay with your goals. First of all, have goals, right? The first thing you gotta do is have goals. That's the biggest thing to focus on. Have a set of goals, know what purpose you have, and that doesn't come out overnight, guys. It does take time. It takes time to focus on yourself and to look at what is my purpose here. I thought my purpose was in sales way back when. I thought it was in administration way back when. I thought a lot of different things that I found that I did not enjoy that. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy telling people, helping people with things, especially young people and older people. And I enjoy really kind of doing things that can help. And now, I've taught for many years, and now I'm kind of expanding out a little bit and taking some chances, right? Risks, as I've talked about before, and doing some things that are trying to, broaden different ways. Technology is not my best suit, but I'm learning, and I'm learning through some of this. And obviously, as we do, these type of things off my phone right now, I'm going to try to learn more how to do it with a computer and get a computer I can do that's going to work and be able to do a lot of these things. But I really want to get this information out. I felt this is the time to do that, and that's my goal and purpose, is to try to help and give back to people what they've given to me. So the idea then is trying to stay on your purpose and not become shaking off different things. And so unshakable means that you're trying to stay on your goals, stay on your purpose in the direction that you want to go to. And so no matter what situation happens to you, you're going to be unshakable in the way that you respond to it. And that's the whole key to the situation. And so you do that by having the inner foundation, inner guts, inner intelligence and motivation to know that nothing's going to stop you. And you also have the peace to realize that you're not going to change. See, guys, the issue is not so much what you're doing or what you've done, is how you move ahead in the future depends on how you react to these things. And the key, guys, to reaction is not to be taken off course and changing who you are. You have to be unshakable with the person you're in. So no matter if you're rich, poor, good looking, average looking, poor looking, it doesn't really matter, right? What matters, but is that you're going to experience a lot of this stuff as you go through life, right? No one tends to be better looking as they get older, right? They tend to change. Now, some people look better because they're inside's coming out, and now you look better as you get older. And that's probably the case in my case more, because I wasn't a happy person when I was younger. I didn't understand. I had a lot of anger, a lot of different types of issues, and I'm better now. I'm peaceful now, more peaceful than I was before, and so I feel better, and hopefully I look better than I did back in the old days. But the idea that you're gonna change, you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna be rich, you're gonna be poor at times. You're gonna have money, you're not gonna have money at times. You're gonna have a job, sometimes you don't have a job. But it should not change you. And if you're on your purpose, if you're on your goal, you can be unshakable because of that. So how do you become unshakable? How do you, and I say rich, but sometimes when you have too much money, it's just as bad as having no money. Now, why do I say that? You think it's crazy, and the Vigor Warrior 2 here says some crazy things, and you may agree, may not agree, but I want to kind of open up and stimulate the thought pattern a little bit as we do this. But the idea, guys, is that having money sometimes creates more problems, right? People who are rich may not have the same problems as some people who don't have as much money, but they have different problems, right? They have newfound friends coming out of the woodwork, right? Relatives, people that all of a sudden know they have money, right? Or they tend to have more debt. And the key, guys, is not so much how much you make, it's how much you spend. And people tend to overspend, especially in our society, and so they always get to the point where they're not happy, and they're looking for more money and more money. And so this is why you see a lot of athletes and musicians, movie stars, people who are broke, because they tend to spend more than they make. The same thing with people who win the lottery. Unbelievably, I saw a statistic a while back ago that said that a large number of people who won the lottery are broke. Now, how can you do that? Because you're getting an income, right, over a period of time. But once again, you could spend more than you make. So even if you have money, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be happy, or that you're going to be, somebody who's going to be able to take care of that money. And so being unshakable really means that you haven't changed. You haven't changed from the person that you need to be. And so that doesn't change whether you have money, you doesn't have money. It doesn't change whether you have looks, you don't have looks, you have a good job, you don't have a good job, you have a good car, you don't have a nice car. It doesn't matter. All that stuff does not really matter. Now, I say that as I'm 60 years old, and I can tell you that that doesn't provide the happiness. But a lot of you are going to have to, like anything else, experience that for yourself. I'm just kind of providing information to give you a little heads up of what I went through. Some of you are 18, 19, 20. You guys, are looking forward to a lot of success, a lot of money, a lot of people in your life, males and females, that are going to make you happy. But really, what I found, guys, is the happiness is inside of you. The self-control is inside of you. And that's why, through meditation, through ability to change the thought pattern you have, you're able to then use that to change the physical. And this is what happens with the fear, right? Once again, it starts in the mind, and then your body subconsciously tries to do the same behavior that you're thinking about all the time. So as you look at things, guys, you're looking at trying to keep that same mental approach, the mental attitude that you're not going to change who you are. And because you don't change who you are, you're going to be unshakable when it comes to things that are happening that are good, bad. A lot of times, we're riding the storm, we're really in good shape when things are going well, everything's great, but then we don't do too well when things are not doing too well. When things go bad, when we experience something that's a failure or something's happened, all of a sudden, we're not doing as well. And guys, I think that's the whole key to what you're looking at, is that even good times or bad times, you're still reacting the same way. You still have those habits you're forming. This is tough, right? If you lost your job, which we see a lot of in our pandemic situation, everything going on here, a lot of times, you're not going to have the same mental attitude, right? You're going to struggle because a lot of things you're saying is focusing on, trying to get a job, make money, things like that. But all of that will come to you. You're a highly intelligent person. You have a lot of capabilities. You've done it before. You should be able to do it again, right? And so it comes no problem with anything you're doing. It's really more of a matter of your mindset and your attitude. And so whether things are good or whether things are bad, you need to continue to stay the same way you are. And I think it was Aristotle that said this as well, that no matter if you think you're right or you think you're not right, you are right. Because your mind and body are going to continue to work towards your thinking. And when you're thinking in a certain way, that's how you're going to act. So if you think, you have a certain attitude, you think you have a certain type of idea about things, you can succeed by having the right mental framework. And we'll talk about a lot of this and things. I mentioned the Secret of the Ages, but I also will, mention Think and Grow Rich, and also kind of to review those books more and more as we go on too. So, once again, be unshakable. Never sit there and say, okay, I'm lost or I'm a victim. Victimism is one of the worst things we're seeing in society. It's really kind of a danger that we have. You do not want to be a victim. And I'm not sure why that's happened in our society. Maybe people feel that they can get a little more empathy that way, but empathy is not going to win the day. What's going to win the day is strong, virile people who really feel like that they can take charge of themselves and not really kind of blame others for their mistakes. And that's the key, guys. Don't blame others for things that are happening around you. Things will happen, good and bad, but it's how you handle it. All right, until next time, Warriors, Vigor Warriors 2, battle on.